folks, thanks so very much for showing up to the Scuba Pro briefing on the new Mantis Point 1. Mantis Point 1. This is a timepiece, very nice, excuse me, very nice dive watch and computer. A couple of improvements over the prior version is that now this Mantis, compared to the Meridian, will now incorporate a heart rate monitor, bringing to you greater information and a more accurate profile while diving. Navigation through the Mantis is quite simple. We have an up-down button. This refers to counter the stopwatch. It's running. You can stop it. We can clear it. We can run it. And if you're trying to do lap time, simply going to push here. You're able to make a note of that number, and then within a few brief seconds, it'll pick up again and continue onward. Okay. Some other features would be things like the altimeter. We're looking at a dive planner. Now, in selecting, this is the up and the down button. When you want to select a dive planner, for example, you just come over here to select. This is going to flash because it assumes that what you want to do is adjust the depth. So we're going to make that adjustment, and as we do, you'll see that your no decompression time is adjusted accordingly. So that's quite simple. To back out, you just hit this quickly. So this is select or escape. I can then move on to my log. I say that's what I want, and I can begin to scroll through my log, looking at those surface intervals and dive time. Again, escape. I can move on to scuba. I hit enter. This is going to be for setting my gas. I can move on to other settings. So this would be, tell me when I'm at 130 feet, sound off an alarm, or tell me when I'm so many minutes into a dive, sound off an audible alarm. These are my different multi-levels. I can select this and go from a 0 to a 1 to a 2 to a 3. This is making our algorithm more conservative along the way. If you feel that you need to dive a profile that is more conservative than the one that we already have established, then you're free to do so. Now, the reason I'm a little bit slow to say that is our algorithm is already 30 years tested, and it takes into consideration all sorts of parameters. 30 years tested in people descending too quickly, 30 years tested in people ascending too quickly, 30 years tested in people making yo-yo dives, 30 years tested in people doing skip breath diving. So all of these parameters can throw other algorithms into a state of confusion, where this one can handle all those parameters, and you can't throw any mistakes or any surprises at this computer. Now, if we were to select level 4, and that again does change the algorithm, makes it more conservative than 0. If we were to disregard it while diving, let's say that you were enjoying your dive, and level 4 is saying, you said that you wanted a more conservative dive, so we're telling you now you need to start making your way and start making an ascent. You could say, but I'm having too much fun, or I need this one shot. It will then fall back to level 3 on its own. So it's not that you're violating anything, you're just not paying attention to what you pre-programmed only a few hours ago or an hour ago. You follow? So it will always drop back if you disregard it. We can pop out of there and just continue. For example, on this we have an apnea. This is free diving. The sampling rate gets kicked up way, let me drop back. Our sampling rate on diving, on the dive profile, is every 4 seconds sampling rate. This is very good, much faster than the norm. When you compare sampling rates to other dive computer offerings, it could be as much as 8 or 12 second sampling rate, where ours is 4. When you go into apnea, the sampling rate is 0.25. So it's much, much faster. We also have what's called a stroke count. Again, this is a used daily timepiece watch. So if I'm an active person into swimming or hiking, this can count my trek, or it can count my strokes in water. Different algorithms, we can say, take a look at that. We have scuba algorithm, we have apnea algorithm, we have gauge mode. This now turns it into an electronic gauge primarily. Now no algorithm is considered in gauge mode. And of course scuba. Again, this is an escape. Set watch, you know, the time and the date and all that happy stuff. All that's very, very simple. I'll go back to the elegance of the watch has been improved. It is a mineralized crystal. One of the nice features that I like is that these 4 functions, by the way, this one is solely light, is that these buttons are not a through hole. They are magnets that activate reed switches on the inside. So it makes it to be something that isn't going to give you much trouble, especially in faraway places. You are able to change the battery in faraway places rather than taking it to a specialized, rather than returning it to Scuba Pro, that is. You could take it to a, excuse me, a well-organized watch shop, and they would have the wherewithal of changing out that battery. It's a common battery, 1 seal, 1 O-ring seal. That's it. There are no other O-ring seals other than this primary main compartment seal. There are a few different bands that you can use with it. We have a nylon band for dry suits, and then we have other colored polyurethane bands, for you to mix and match and that sort of thing. Other than that, it is more feature-rich over the Meridian that came before it. There's the Mantis 1.0, that's this one, and of course we have some other things in the future as well. We appreciate your time, and should anyone have any questions, please, let's open it up. Anybody?